comparing data sets, back-to-back stem and leaf plots. We've already learned to make stem and leaf plots. Back-to-back stem and leaf plots let us compare two sets of data very easily. So, Madeline is trying to decide which gym to join, and apparently she's concerned about the ages of people. Maybe she wants to be at the gym with people her own age, and she records the ages of people at an afternoon class at two local gyms, at AllFit and SuperFit. Now when we're creating a stem and leaf plot, remember we're best off to make an unordered one and then put it in order, because that's usually the quickest and most accurate way to do it. We still look at the range of the data and find the stem, the lowest of the tens. So we've got a few teenagers. And who's the oldest person? I've got someone who's 45, 51. Is there anyone over their 50s? Doesn't look like it. If there is, we can put that in later. So we put our stems in, and our stems will be the tens unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you'll see that the stem goes in the middle. This used to be our old stem and leaf plot. We're going to do one on either side. AllFit will go at the start, the first side, and SuperFit on the other side. So remember, now it can get a little bit annoying. We've sort of got to work from the middle out. A 7 would mean 17. Which is a bit funny because we're used to reading it tens then units, but we have to be able to compare it some way. This is the tens, this is the units, this is 17. 22, 51, 12, 27, 43, 39, 20, 21, two 15-year-olds. Now notice we don't need commas because we've only got one number going over here, so I can't read that as 10. It's a 1 and a 0, so it's 21 and 20. Two 15-year-olds, a 45-year-old. Lots of 15-year-olds at this gym. So already we can see that there's a lot of people in their teens and 20s in this gym. Now we do the same for SuperFit, and this is more like what we're used to because we're working on this side now. 19, 20, 32, 46. Where's the 35? There. Okay, sorry about the window rattling there. So now we've got the numbers in, that's our unordered stem and leaf plot. We put our ordered stem and leaf plot, the same headings, AllFit and SuperFit. The same stems, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we put each of our rows in order, working out. So I'm going to start with SuperFit because that's the easy one. 3, 6, 8, and 2 9s. Making sure we're getting everything carefully in order. You can, if you want, cross them off over here. So I had 2 zeros, a 1, 2 2s. If it's getting hard to keep track, you can cross them off as you go. Making sure we've got them in order. So that's SuperFit sorted. Now AllFit, I forgot a T, goes from the lowest out this way. So that's a little bit different as well. If I got 2 zeros, 2 ones, 2 twos, 3 and 7. There we go. So that is a back-to-back stem and leaf plot. And it actually makes a little column graph. Don't draw this in. In fact, I'll draw it over here so it's a little bit easier. If you've spaced your numbers nicely, then it actually makes almost a pretend column graph. Whereas if I turned it this way, I've got 5 people in their teens. I've got 7 people in their 20s, 7 people in their 30s, 1 person in their 40s. So it's kind of cute the way it makes a graph that we can read. It shows us where the groups of ages are most likely to be clustered. So if Madeline wanted to think about age for joining a gym, this gym has a lot more people in their teens and 20s. This people has quite a few in their teens and 20s, but also quite a lot in their 30s. So that might influence her. Questions? Find the median age for each group. Now, you've got to count how many data scores there are. You've got a couple of methods. You can count in, but it can be a bit tricky. 13 is the lowest, 46 is the highest, but then when we count to the next one, next lowest, the next highest, sorry, is 16, the next lowest is 38. So you can count your way in, but it takes a little bit of thinking to be sure you've got it right. Looks like the median is halfway between 22 and 23, so that would be 22 and a half. An easier method is for 20 scores, add 1, for any number of scores, add 1, divide by 2. So 20, add 1, 21. Divide by 2, that's 10 and a half. That says I want to go to the 10th score and halfway up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and halfway. So the median of Superfit is 22 and a half. And there's 20 scores for All Fit as well, which says that that will be the 10 and a half score. You can think of it as the half and half rule if you want. 20 scores, half of 20 is 10, add a half. I want the 20th and a half. Funny way of saying it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and a half. Halfway between 21 and 22 is 21.5. So their median age is pretty close. The range for each gym, so again for Superfit, the range is the highest minus the lowest. Show you're working. 46 minus 13 is 6 minus 3 is 3. The range is 33. There's 33 years between the oldest person and the youngest person. For All Fit, 51, not 15, 51 minus 12. Now if we're doing that in our head, you can make it 51 take away 10, which would be 41, take away another 2, 39. So the range is a bit higher for All Fit. State any outliers. So having a look, young people, no, there's the 13 to 16 is pretty normal, 12 to 15, that's only 3-year gaps there. 38 up to 46, that's an 8-year gap. 46 might be an outlier. 45 up to 51, 6-year gap, that might be an outlier too. So it's a bit subjective, that means it depends a bit on what we think, but All Fit, 51, Superfit, 46. And we might just say could be outliers, because they're not that far. 6 years isn't that big an age gap. State one similarity between the gyms. Well, their medians are pretty similar. Or we could say they both have quite a lot of people in their 20s. And I'll just put 2 in. One difference between the gyms. Now you can't just say one has more. You'd have to say which one. So Superfit has more people in the 30s. And we could say that All Fit's range is higher. So when we're comparing, we're just looking at those measurements to see what we could comment on.